Hey there. Yeah, hi. Robin again. Uh, Thanks for being here. So today I want to talk about some very cool topic because I just had it in a group and with some, like some client that I'm helping with. And yeah, the question at the end was he was having his first meetings now with his business. So he asked like, okay, what to do in a meeting, what to do in a sales call. And yeah, I just like wanted to kind of like answer the question in video because yeah. So what I did? Why should you kind of like think that I'm like able to talk about how good sales meeting goes? And by the way, I don't want to talk about like too deep into sales techniques and so on. I really want to focus on like how you should do a good meeting. So I closed very like all kind like I had all kind of meetings when it comes to closing. I was always very good in closing investors, closing big clients, but I also use these techniques in actually closing employees that are really wanted. So there are some employees that are very good and you really want to have them. Yeah, so and there's something that is very important too. So yeah, I use the same techniques for all of these things. The biggest thing that I ever closed in a call was a 30-minute call for 200,000 euro. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Never met that person before, and at the end he transferred the money. So did a couple of these kind of meetings with 50,000, 100,000. Also closed over 2 million investment. And yeah, really got some very good employees with this technique as well. So yeah, so this is, I guess, one I think I have some good experience here that I want to share and help you kind of like get into better sales calls. So first of all, like let me talk with some like let me walk you through like how the process will be. So I will tell you a couple of things about how you should be generally be in a meeting, then like how you should talk and so on. Then I will tell you a little bit about how I do the process of the meetings, and then we will dive into any single step of the process. And at the end, I have something very important that I also want to share with you because most of the people forget this actually in the sales calls. So, yeah, so in general, just like from mindset to start with it, first of all, most of the people that you are talking with are also people. Or like 100% of the people that you are talking with are people. So, what I mean with that, I mean that they also want to have a good conversation. They maybe are also a little bit scared of the meeting, they don't know what to expect, they maybe are annoyed, maybe they have something frustrating already going on in their life, maybe there are like a thousand other things on their plate, you don't know, right? So, and the way how I do meetings or how I want to show you how to do meetings, they kind of like deal with a lot of that stuff and help you really like getting the best out of the meeting for both sides. So this is just something that you need to keep in mind when you have the meeting. So there will be very bad meetings that have a, okay, let's say very good meetings that have a very bad end result. You did the best you can, but that person has a lot of different stuff in their life right now, and don't be discouraged because of that. Because that just means that it was not the right time and it was not about you. Um, Most of the times, it's about the other person, what they are currently having in their life. At least if you do some of the techniques that I'm sharing right now, should be most of the time the other person that just like can't do it right now. So yeah, this is just first of all. Second of all, like this is something that I do, and I guess would encourage you to do it as well. Maybe some people will not like me for it, but I'm doing it. I never work with people like okay, let's just say it a different way. I always call people with the first name. Um, and I actually never work with people that don't allow me to call them by the first name. Of course, I'm a business owner, so of course I can do a couple of things that maybe other people can't. But this is really something I would encourage you to do because you want to have you should have a casual conversation with the other side helping them in the best way possible. And if somebody don't likes you that much that you are not allowed to call them by the first name, most of the time, not a good person to work with, at least in my experience, right? If you want to get together and work together, it should be allowed. So this is just something that I do. And then also keep in mind that, as I said, these people are also normal people or high performer, whatever, but they like good talks. And those good calls or talks are usually casual. And they are just, you talk with your safe voice, like you talk a little bit deeper, you are having a casual talk. And this is something that you should do when you have a meeting. It's just like, don't be afraid of anything. Just have a normal talk with them. The end result will be anything anyway. It will be the best end result if you can figure out together that you should work together and that you can help them. And if you can do so, then you should work together. And if not, you can even tell them at the end, I don't know if we can really help you. Maybe we shouldn't. So it's totally fine. It's totally okay. Just keep that in mind. Just casual talk, talking about what's going on. Okay, so let's go into the actual meeting, like how it should be structured and what you should do. So my process, just for an overview, always works like this. We do some casual personal talk, and I'm not talking specifically personal, it's about that person in itself. Can also be about the business, but about that person and their role. Then I would do a short explanation how the call will work and how the process of the call will be. Then we have a talk about them, asking some questions, or they just generally talking, giving me an overview. And then I'm pitching what I'm doing or what I can offer them or how I can help them. And then we can dive into any kind of questions. And yeah, and then there's any like bonus thing that I will share at the end. So yeah, this is kind of like what is very important. So let's come to the first part about the personalized questions. So what I mean here is a very good sales trick and that you can do. And it also gives you a lot of information and helps you to do the meeting better. So people usually think it was a good conversation when they talked most of the time about themselves. So people just love to talk about themselves. So if you want somebody to like you, it's a very good thing to ask questions. And of course, this has a lot of good reasons for other sales techniques, but just also about them personally, it can really, really help getting them kind of like to like you. It's a very good trick to make everybody like you, actually. And I think it's a very nice one as well. So what I would really do is encourage you to just like start the meeting out with a couple of good questions. And as I said, they are not super, like, you don't have to ask them about their personal life. Maybe they don't want to tell this to you, like maybe it's a business meeting. But you can really ask them very cool things about, like, let's say it's their company. When do you founded the company? Okay, great. How was it in the beginning? Like, you came a very long way. Like, how was the journey? Like, where did you start? What was the first thing that you did? Okay, super interesting. And you can ask more questions on that. I would not go too crazy, so you can ask like 2 to 3 questions maybe, but it can be very, very cool. Especially as well when you talk, let's say it's an interview and you are talking with an applicant. Yeah, then maybe you can ask them, okay, hey, like, why did you pick this career? Like, what was the first thing where you said, okay, I want to go into that specific career? How long have you been there? What was the most exciting work that you worked on? So these are a couple of things in the beginning that people usually can answer pretty easily, but it will make them feel very good because they can talk about themselves, they can answer easy questions. It's already fun. They maybe tell the fun story. So that really primes the meeting in a very good way. What I mean with priming is when you talk in the beginning in a meeting about something, it can be positive or negative thing, the rest of the meeting will be primed. So that means that if you talk about a negative thing in the beginning, everything that comes after that will be negative. If you start about something positive, everything after that will be positive, even if it's a negative thing. So that is just something that helps you very, very well to just like have a much better meeting. So yeah, this is kind of the first part. And then you will figure out a point, and I really want to kind of like that you get a feeling for that point, because at some point you will, I don't know, you will just laughed about something or talked about something, and then both sides will be quiet for a second. That's a very important moment. You really have to identify this, because first of all, it's the moment where you should start talking about the real thing while both parties are here. And second of all, if you miss that point, it can be very bad for the rest of the meeting. Because if they have to tell you something like, okay, and how does it work now? Or can you tell me something now about the company or something? It's most probably you are already past that moment. You kind of like lost that moment. And that kind of means they are a little bit annoyed and they want to go to the thing. What is a bad thing? So you really want to kind of like, best case, having fun, identify that moment. And it's better to have that moment too early than too late. So you want to identify that moment. And from that moment, I do something that is really important and a lot of people don't do it. So remember that I said in the beginning, a lot of the people that you talk with, they will be kind of like, don't know what to expect from the meeting. So if you are just like from that moment diving in to, okay, that's the topic or so, yeah, it's still maybe for them overwhelmed. They don't know how the process will be. They maybe are not really listening because they don't know, okay, what to expect. And they maybe still are a little bit nervous. So what I usually do is at that moment, I just tell them what is the process from here on. And I'm not telling every single step, but I'm telling the middle part very specific. So I'm just tell them, okay, so I would suggest this. I start by asking you 2 or 3 questions about your company or yourself or whatever, so that I can just understand your side a little bit better and I can see how good of a fit we are. And from there, I would like to tell you about my company or what we can do or what we can offer. You can also say, it's okay to say, then I would like to really do my pitch and tell you why we are the best choice for you, if we fit together. And after that, we can dive into any kind of questions. So, and that really like sets just like that. And it's not the last part, the questions, but that really sets for everybody clear expectations, how the meeting should be and what should happen now. And yeah, so like I never had somebody, and I think you will also never have, that somebody says then, no, I don't want to be the process like this. Like, really shouldn't happen. Like for me, never had people say, yes, let's do it. So when you ask them the questions, like just prepare something that will really help you. It's still something where you can get information and understand how you can adjust the pitching part a little bit, but it also just like should let you know if you can help them or not. Like if you can identify in these questions already that somebody will never be able to become your client right now because of X amount of reasons, it is maybe even a better choice to just tell them, okay, I heard that you said this, so I think right now, and you can give them any reason that makes sense. Maybe they don't have the budget right now and you just see it. Or they are so overwhelmed with new clients right now that this is not the biggest problem to get more clients, for example, if this is something that you sell. Then just maybe you tell them and maybe you like just break the meeting here. It's no problem to just say, yeah, I heard this here and I don't think right now that actually that I can still give you the pitch if you want and tell you everything about it, but I don't think that it's working for you right now. So I would prefer to just save both of us some time, and yeah, then it depends if you never want to work with them or maybe later. And I just like let you do the thing right now that you're focused on, and we talk in a month again. I will be like stay in touch with you. And I will pitch it then. So that just gives you the opportunity, because if they are really not in the mood right now, and you're already giving them the pitch, from the moment they need then to make the decision, they most probably forgot about why is it a great idea to work with you. So yeah, this can be helpful to just like save everybody some time. But yeah, take some feeling to actually understand when it's a good thing or not. Yeah, when you then pitch about your company, just do your pitch. Like, just do it in a good way. Tell them what you're doing, why is it good, why they should work with you. As I said, I will not go into super deep details, not right now at least, how to pitch it in the best way. But what I can really say, especially if you are a business owner by yourself or you really love the company that you're working at, just tell them why you love it and why you think it's a good thing, and they will also like it and love it. Yeah, so that's kind of like a good way to do it. The second thing maybe is good to just like keep in mind is really focusing on the outcome that you are doing for them and not on the why you are good. So they want to get some results, and you should make a picture in their mind what that result will be like. So that you should focus on creating the picture in their mind, how it would look when the end result really gets in. Just like tip by this side. So, and after that, you can dive into any kind of questions. They most probably will have some, and if not, not like they will have some. But if you did a good pitch, if they don't, most probably two reasons. First of all, they are already convinced that they want to do it, and they just want. But then they will ask most probably like, okay, what are the next steps? But yeah, they will most probably ask something, at least to ask something. Other thing is that I would really encourage you, like, it maybe happens that you are in a meeting with somebody that is a very straightforward businessman or very straightforward person in general. Um, and there is a chance that this person don't wants to follow your process. Can happen. Happened to me many times as well. But this is totally okay. Like, even let's say you are asking you're doing your pitch or you're even in the questions. Like I even had this in one meeting. It was very fun. Like at the time it felt very crazy, but yeah, I was in a good mood, so that was totally okay back then. So I just started with my questions to get to know the other person a little bit better, and actually already when I kind of like started my first question, this person interrupted me and he asked different questions. And I really want to encourage you that this is actually a good thing. It might feel very bad because you think like, okay, the other person is just like cutting you off, they are not respecting you, whatever maybe is that you're thinking in that moment. But there are just people that are very straightforward and want to do things their way. And if you let them lead the meeting, it will turn into a sale. That is very good. So if you have somebody that, and I'm not talking about somebody just asking one question in the beginning because something was unclear or so, but if somebody asks you a question right away, you answer it, and before you can continue, you are in answering the question, and from the moment they have their part of the question answered, they will interrupt you again with a second question. These are usually very straightforward people that do it like this, and the best way to just sell to them is letting them ask their questions. They will ask all the questions, all the information that they need to know. What gives you the best opportunity to just answer them in a very good way, and they will become your client. It's very, very interesting. I had a very cool meeting. It went 45 minutes. And basically, it was just like from the first moment he interrupted me, he asked questions, he interrupted me 20 times, like the whole meeting, basically, all the time. And at the end, he said, thank you, let's do it. And he transferred me 100,000 euro, just like that. So it's completely okay to have that experience, even if it takes a little bit kind of like understanding. In general, when people ask questions, it most of the time means that they want to buy, and they need some questions to be answered to actually make the buying decision, but they want to. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, but anyhow, like when you have the questions answered at the end or in the middle or whatever, it's one part, and that was the part I was talking about, the bonus thing that is very important. A lot of people forget, and I'm guilty of it too. So yeah, is that especially when you are in the beginning, you prepare all of the sales meeting and all of the sales pitch and so on, and you do a very good job. And then the person actually wants to buy, but you are not prepared on what to do when they say yes. So that's actually something that is, of course, nothing that you run in when you already closed a bunch of people. But maybe even if you go, like I had this experience when I was first having my pitch for 2 million deal that I was closing. And that was very different from everything else that I did, because until then my biggest deal that I did was 200,000, and then I had a 2 million deal, and it was a very different process that we did. And I had a first meeting and I did a very good job, and they wanted to do it, but I had to come up right out of the blue with, okay, what can we do now, and what is the process now? So yeah, I can really encourage you to know what the process will be from the meeting. So it's kind of like called the call to action usually, right? But I'm also mean it in a very good way of just like knowing what to do and what scenarios. If you don't know yet if the person will invest or not, it's most of the time a good idea to just like have a process where you have maybe something where you will send them something over, or you will send them already a contract. So what I did very often, what was very successful, is whenever I had a meeting, doesn't matter if they want to invest or not, or want to be client or not. At the end, I did send over the contract, because it gives them really good, like they don't have to say in a meeting that they don't want, but they also don't say that they want. And I know some people might argue here with me and will say, yeah, but you should do this to convince people. Like, this is just not how I work, right? So I work in a way of giving people the room to make a foundation, like a good decision, and have all the information they need, and then they can decide to do it or not. And so what I usually do is I just tell them, hey, this is the contract, just that you know that you have it saved for you and it's all in for you. Like for really focusing on, like the contract is most of the time also for them, right? Because when they transfer you the money, it's for you all good, but for them the contract is really important so that you really deliver on what you promised. And so this is what I do. I say, okay, we'll send you over the contract. You can check it, and then we can. After that, we can have this call to have these kind of meetings, or to get started, or to just connect you to that person, or whatever. And what I do is I then take the contract as an e-sign, and I don't send them the PDF as contract. I send them the e-sign or any kind of tool that you're using to actually really agree on the terms. And I send it to them right away, because they can still check it, they can still say no, but it's very cool when you get these emails where somebody just says, okay, where you get an email, hey, that person just signed 100,000 euro or dollar contract. So that's actually a very nice experience, and it just like makes the chances so much higher of them really getting clients, or becoming clients. So yeah, this is something that I would usually do. So don't underestimate the exit part in the call to action of the meeting that you have. So be just aware of what the processes be. I also can say, if somebody, like, I always let people like 1 or 2 days to decide if they want to do it or not. Totally okay. Some know it right away, most know it right away, but some need to talk it through with their wife. Happens all the time. So it's totally okay. But if somebody don't do it after 48 hours, the chance that they will do it is very low. So you should most probably not wish that they will maybe be convinced, but just let it go and find some other client and not waste your time with it. Yeah, so that's some experience that I can share. And very happy to answer any kind of questions. So you can let me know in the comments whatever it is you want to know. And maybe I can make a deeper video on how to make good sales. I think it's a kind of good achievement from sales size that I already did. So I can of course make a deeper video about it if you want to. And if you have any other questions, of course, let me know in the comments or just reach out to me. We'll be very happy to help. Then talk to you soon.